Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the finals of the Generation 3 tournament. We have fought our way through Swiss, won every match there, and then won our semi-finals against It Backfired. And now it's time for the finals against Floorwalker. Except it's not against Floorwalker. Totally against my expectations. Floorwalker lost in the semi-finals against Spenpai Terranon. So our round 2 opponent lost against our round 4 opponent, so it's Spenpai Terranon that we fight in the finals. Meanwhile, Floorwalker moved to the match for third place, where they did beat It Backfired, so Floorwalker on their debut did get a podium finish. Spenpai Terranon, meanwhile, had their first match of the tournament against us in round 4 due to the strange things that have happened. Lost that, won their semis, and if they just make it 2 out of 3 for themselves in this tournament, they win the tournament on their debut. Can it happen? Will it happen? To me, they've already surprised us by beating Floorwalker in the semis. Could they beat me in the finals now as well? Let's battle! We know the teams quite well. They start with Skarmory, I start with my Salamence. I don't really mind it. Fire Blast, boom. Let's go. Lead. I like that. Rock Slide from Dockshow that trapped me in with Arena Trap, a Hidden Power. Boom. Low defenses, low HP, go away. They apparently misunderstand Sturdy from, from Skarmory, but that's Generation 5 and later where a regular attack is prevented from KOing them as well. Before that was just one KO move such as Horn Drill and Fissure. Anyway, Salamence comes in. I move first, whether it's because I have higher speed or speed tie. One shot with Dragon Claw. What? 3 one-shots. They send in Jolteon. And I happen to know that this was Hidden Power Ice. So I switch into Swampert. They send in Gengar. Unfortunately, the Earthquake doesn't work. They do have Levitate, so it's a smart switch from them there. Toxic. They might need some stalling and some misses, but my Hydro Ball actually hits this time. They use Destiny Bond, try to take Swampert with them. Works, but now it's 5 against 2. Here comes Big Bullet again. They have Jolteon, Hidden Power Ice, I don't really like that, so here comes Sandra. They predict that and go for the substitute. So that's a nice move. Thunder Wave on Frozen Beast, I don't quite like that. Dragon Dancing doesn't really help here, probably, especially considering they have substitute up, and Jolteon will probably still be faster afterwards. So I just break the substitute, try an Earthquake again with the switch to Flygon, predicting that. That's smart. I said in Skarmory, hope they don't have Fire Blast, at least stopping the Earthquake. They do have Fire Blast. I Toxic, unfortunately that doesn't work. But with the min-max thing and the leftovers, I should be able to survive this. I do. Do I get the Toxic off? Yes, so Skarmory can at least do something. There probably wasn't much else that Skarmory would be able to do anyway. So I do protect here. Get some extra toxic damage on the Flygon, get a bit extra healing myself, which forces them into Fire Blast, which has slightly higher chance of missing than Rock Slide. Oh, I wonder if Rock Slide would have actually KO'd the previous attack. Salamence comes in. Some more toxic damage on Flygon. They go first. Dragon Claw actually take me out. I send in Gengar, ready for an Ice Sponge. Meanwhile, more toxic damage on the Flygon. That's just going to keep whittling away, even if they do take me out. They switch to Jolteon. Likely predicting the Ice Punch, because I'm pretty sure they know I have it, and then lowering potential toxic damage, so although I assume they would be taken out. Thunderbolt here, I just Ice Punch again. It's at low. They have leftovers, so Sandstorm won't take him out. This isn't very good, actually, because now it's 2 against 2. However, Frozen Beast, if they can deal anything, it'll be pretty good. So I'm pretty sure I Hidden Power Bug here, as that's the best thing I have against Flygon. And it would have just taken out Jolteon, that works. I switch to Vaporeon because I feel that's better against Flygon than against Jolteon. Help it stall a bit as well. Wish. Do I have Protect on this? I'm not sure. I do have Protect on this, so I actually just heal up again. Potentially I can still take a Thunderbolt. And then just a Surf and Jolteon is out. Is that what's going to happen? I survived the Thunderbolt after that, which I'm paralyzed though. And after a 5-2 lead, being fully paralyzed there might have been what gave Spenpai Terranon the win, because they could have taken out my Vaporeon here. Let's see how much HP was Tyranitar at. Tyranitar was still at full, so potentially Tyranitar could have still done it. However, with some paralysis hex, that was what Spenpai Terranon needed. But I got the Surf off, and it's a 1-0 lead, so I'm one game away from winning everything in a tournament where I thought that I'd maybe win half. Game 2, who do we open with? I start with Tyranitar this time while they still have Skarmory. I thought they'd switch, didn't happen, so that doesn't really work out for me. I switched to Gengar. It was immune to Toxic thanks to it being a poison type itself, that works. Thunderbolt, and here come the crits again, because I never get crits in important battles, or in battles whatsoever. Yeah, like everyone gets crits at times, but I feel that I get it more than others or something. Like, to be honest, I really like winning tournaments and winning battles, but if someone else would win, then to be honest, I wouldn't really mind it too much. So I'm kind of hoping I'll be beaten. Toxic misses, Hydro Pump hits, that's Gengar gone. Earthquake from Dugtrio, Ice Beam, probably enough I thought. Nope, not quite. So Dugtrio does survive it, which gives it another Earthquake, but with another Ice Beam, that's Dugtrio gone 6-3. Salamence, that's weak to Ice Beam. It has Return, doesn't do too much. Ice Beam, Salamence gone. The same two are left from before, except now I have everything instead of 5 Pokemon. Earthquake, Defensive Swampert works. Ice Beam, Flygon gone. Do I go for the 6-0? Do I go for the 6-0 and make some switches? I could. I feel I'll just play it safe because they came back from pretty far later. They had no counters for Swampert, showing you just how important that Hidden Part Grass might be. They crit with a Thunderbolt. I Earthquake, Jolteon gone. That's it. That is it. I have won the Generation 3 tournament. What? I've said it many times, but I did not expect this. I would have been happy with 5th or 6th, which means I wouldn't even have made top cut. But I feel my experience with competitive battling in general, the sort of like not really competitive battling experience, but I have some knowledge of how certain moves and types work differently in previous generations. I knew about the physical special split not being a thing yet. I didn't realize that Sandstorm didn't give a boost yet, although I did find that out later during the tournament. There are certain things I already knew, which I suppose I did take advantage of. We did see that likely, although I'm not certain, likely 2 participants, I think 2 opponents we had, might have not realized the physical special split wasn't a thing yet. Or for example, in this match, Spenpai Terranon didn't realize that Sturdy worked differently in Generation 3. And I did do a little bit of research against what could be useful in Generation 3 competitive battling. Just a little, but in the end I just decided on a good amount of Pokemon that I just wanted to use. Tyranitar was one of them, Gengar was, although I found it really difficult to make Gengar, like make the set for Gengar considering its 2 stabs are both physical. Swampert I eventually decided on because supposedly it was one of the main Pokemon in Gen 3 OU. I wasn't sure about Vaporeon. I read it late on, like the last day before the entry deadline. I wanted to change Vaporeon into something like Flygon or Claydol because I felt I wanted that. I felt I wanted something else to play with, maybe a Rapid Spinner, but barely anyone used. There were a few that used Spikes, but that was only through Skarmory, so I was able to deal pretty well with that, I feel. And eventually Porygon actually worked, and if you remember, was it round 2 against Floorwalker, I think it was? Against the Melodic, the Stall War. That was, let's see, my Vaporeon and Skarmory against their Melodic, which ended up being a PP stall match, which went into 121 turns, something like that. That was crazy. So in that sense, I'm really happy I brought Vaporeon. I really wonder now how the tournament would have gone if I had a Claydol or a Flygon instead of Vaporeon, because that was the one I was considering switching out. The team had quite a lot of, although I didn't end up using it all that much. I did During the very few test battles I did, the focus was on Skarmy sets up spikes early, and then Whirlwind and Roar, just to get damage through there. Although I did deal a good amount of damage through that, actually. Was able to get rid of some boosts through Calm Mind or Sword Stance, even substitutes like that. Both Swampert had Roar, and did Vapopo have Roar? I'll go for Porygon Vapopo. I called it that for the Pokemon 2. No, just Pokemon Stadium 2. And I still call it that as a nickname, even though this one's called different. Called something different. Let's see, Surf, Wish, Protect. What was the other move? Did it also have Ice Beam? I'm not even sure anymore. Anyway, 2 Roars, 1 Whirlwind. That was the focus. Through these competitive battles, I didn't end up setting up spikes as many times as I'd like to, but the other setups and the other plays made it work, and somehow I won the tournament. So thank you all very much for watching this Generation 3 tournament. Very soon, hopefully tomorrow, I will start with the next tournament, because this Generation 3 tournament was our 4th tournament? I think it was our 4th tournament. And then we're currently on our 6th, so there's still one in between that is fully finished that I can start uploading already. You'll be able to see that starting pretty soon. See you then!